Shit. Alright. Hey, shalom, shalom. I want to give all praise to Yahweh, Bahashim. Citations that I've been up there, spreading this truth like wildfire and all truthfulness and all. This article I got, it's called the title of it, the same title that I used for this video, and, queer academics suggest pedophilia be taught in schools as an innate sexuality, and you know, hey, this is a big I told you so moment, man, because for years, the men of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, as well as others, have tutors that are these have tutors that are out here and shit. They've been saying, as well as these others, these half tutors that are out here. They've been saying, oh, like don't trust the alphabet crew, so we're gonna call it. Don't trust them. They're trying to legalize pedophilia. They just want to legalize this first because hey, all this is, hey, it's a slippery slope. Once they legalize this, then they'll eventually legalize pedophilia. And we was laughed at. We was told that basically we was tripping. All they wanted is equal rights for homosexuals. First the act of homosexuality, then then first the act of homosexuality, and then homosexual marriage, quote unquote, because there's no such thing as a homosexual marriage. That's actually non-existent. But homosexual marriage under the state, marriage is sex anyways, between a man and a woman. But they were pushing that. They pushed the act of homosexuality, sodomy to be legalized first. Then they pushed homosexual marriages, so called, and then they pushed the idea that this is how they did it. And it's called the Hegelian dialect is also called and it's their way of, it's also called gradualism, you know, or the slippery slope, right? And basically, after that, they started pushing trans transformer the transformer agenda, man. After that, you know, oh, oh, uh, doing away with the concept of gender being what you was when you was born. Before they're doing away with the concept that you're that sex is just between a man and a woman. Before they was doing away with that, and now what they're getting ready to do is do away. So they did away with gender restrictions when it comes to sex, and then they did away with gender, like basically being connected to biology, which it is. But they did away with that concept. Basically, a man can, be built like be built with female characteristics. Man, a woman can actually be a man, and a man can actually be a woman. It just depends how they feel like that day, because then they pushed that basically if you didn't feel like you was this gender, you was another gender. They pushed the lie, the pseudo science falsely so called, that you had that you basically you there was many genders, not just male and female. So basically, trying to make gender a thing of the past. Now what they're doing, it's just basically they want to make everybody, you know, instead of two genders, one type shit. Basically, it's their whole Baphomet agenda. Because Baphomet, when you look at Baphomet, the depiction of Baphomet, it's a dude with tits. It's a male goat with tits. Now, male features and female features. This is all, this is all, to their, this is all paying homage this is all paying homage to really the spiritual demon Satan, because that's what Baphomet. They'll go back to Nimrod, which he was a representation of Satan on earth. But anyways, yeah, because he built that tower to heaven to defy, be an adversary to the Most High, Yahweh, so that if a flood was to come, the tower, they could just go in the tower. But anyways, that's why the Most High Yahweh came down there. He that's why the Most High Yahweh confounded the languages. The Most High Yahweh sent the angel down there to do it, confound the languages. Of That's why he confounded their speech. Okay. All right. So, anyways, basically, now they're removing the age limitation. Want to have pedophilia legalized like back in the days, back in their glory days. Ancient Rome. And this is what they always wanted to do. This is what they always wanted to do. It's called grad, gradualism. Called gradualism. It's a policy of gradual reform rather than sudden change revolution. Because if they was to come out and say it right then, there would have been all hell would have broke loose, man. It's like if you was to, I'm gonna use an analogy that people be using to describe what they be doing. Frog in a frog in a boiling frog, right? Like if you used to throw a frog in there right away, frog would jump out, man. Oh shit, frog would jump out. You immediately face resistance. But if you used to do it, warm the water, put it in cold water, and warm the water, warm the water, warm the water, gradually, right? Eventually, frog would just be chilling, be out of it. Wouldn't you would catch it. And that's what's going on here. That's what they've been doing. Now we're at the point to where pedophilia is legal. I mean, it's not good. I misspoke. Pushes to that point, but now they're more openly pushing. Now they're more openly pushing it. And I got this article I'm about to go in. Innate Sexuality by published on June 9th. And this is a feminist news and opinion site. It's not it's not one of them what do they say, right wing sites that push misinfo. No, no, it's coming straight from the horse's mouth. Because the same people that push that are the people that are pushing pedophilia to be legalized. Starting over there in Norway, of course. A professor of ethics at Oslo Metropolitan University in Norway has called to legalize AI-generated child pornography, claiming that pedophilia should be seen as an innate sexuality that requires destigmatization. Martin Mosley, G-man, who identifies as queer, currently serves as a member of the advisory board on Norway's a social and political lobby group for transformer rights. According to their official website, PKI's purpose is to provide access to gender affirming treatment, quote unquote, to the public, quote unquote, regardless of factors like non-binary identity, sexual practice, or having other diagnoses. So basically, they if you want to be wounded in the stones because you don't think you're a man, then you go to them. Or you want to have your private part cut off because you don't believe that you're a man. They believe you're a female. You know, you wanna go do that, you go to them basically. Moen has also served as academic counsel at CTVA, Norway's largest liberal think tank since 2015. Yeah, because these so-called liberals, these so-called liberals, man, they're like them social issues that they push. The social issue stands is what it is. All it is they're trying to legalize what they do. It's the elites trying to legalize what they do behind closed doors. They want it to be legal out in the open so that nobody gives a fuck when they do it. This is all it is, man. Like homosexuality, you have the Bohemian Grove, has been going on. You have Skull and Bones, what they do to initiate someone into it, homosexuality. Skull and Bones. Man. Look into that Skull and Bones. Look into what they do during the cremation of care at, at the Bohemian Grove. They want that shit to be legal. Even the cremation of care part. They want the baby it to be legal. They want it to be legal to. They want it to be legal to murder babies, not just unborn, but after they're born. So no surprise here, right? And also keep this, it's a social and political lobby group for the for the Transformers, man, for the Decepticons. So you see who's pushing it. They're the same people that swore up and down that they wasn't going to do this. But you know what? You shouldn't have trusted those devils. Let me get trust not thy enemy. You can't trust them. Trust not thy enemy. Don't trust these devils, man. Ecclesiastes 12 and 10. Never trust thine enemy, for like his iron rusted, so is his wickedness. You don't trust his word. You don't trust that he's going to keep his word. You don't trust that. You be you don't look like a dumbass in the end. You're not supposed to trust him. You know, if he say he not gonna do shit, he probably gonna do it. Verse 11, though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. Thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped the looking glass. Thou shalt know that his rust has not been altogether wiped away. And you're gonna find out, you know, when this devil, has one of them. This is how it goes. They'll have one of them European countries legalize that shit, man, and then you know, to push it. Like here in the States, in America, you'll have some state, usually that's on the East Coast or on the West Coast. Usually, a state like that, they'll legalize it. Yeah. So the so-called liberal state. Yeah. And when that happens, you'll see, man. Because, well, if the Most High Yahweh allows this man to continue, running shit, and you're gonna see, you see, this devil's eventually gonna legalize pedophilia. Verse 12, that and not. And before I continue, the Supreme Court Justice, the time G. Brown, right? He actually talk, talked about, he actually, like, was a lax on child pornography. And you wonder why Joe Biden picked her, right? Why they pushed her through? That's why. So she could be in the position, she could be in the right position to legalize that shit. Esau's gonna try. Esau's gonna try. Esau's gonna try. Verse 12. Set him not by thee, lest when he hath overthrown thee, stand up in that place. Either let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat. And thou at the last remember my words, and be pricked therewith. And another scripture I want to get is the words of his mouth were smoother than oil. The words of his mouth were smoother than oil. The words of his mouth were smoother than oil. Psalm 55, verse 21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, softer than oil. The war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. They're smoother than butter, man. Oh no, you don't have to worry about pedophilia being legalized. We ain't about to do that shit. Boom. Now they're trying to legalize that. That's why. That's why you don't trust this devil, man. You're gonna you're gonna be pricked therewith, man. Because his words, he used them as his words are weapons, man. Yeah, where they draw on swords. This devil's words are weapons. You know, the scripture talking about the dying words, the instruments of the cherub. Oh, that's a good scripture, right? Because it, and I'll read from the scripture before and after, because these motherfuckers claim to be liberal, right? Right? These devils claim to be liberal. Which that goes into liberating, right? Let me read the verses before because this is good. It's good. Good scriptures right here. Isaiah 32:5. The vile person shall no more be called liberal, nor the churl said to be bountiful. The vile person shall be no more called liberal. The churl is basically a rude, boorish, or surly person, a peasant, rusty, stingy person, miser. He was a churl in his affection. Yeah. The vile person shall be no more called liberal, nor the churl said to be bountiful. Verse 6. For the vile person will speak villainy. His heart will work iniquity to practice hypocrisy and utter arrogance Yahweh. What do they say? Oh, the Bible's wrong, man. It was written by man. It was written by man, and you know what it says in there is wrong. You know, homosexuality is all right. You know, adultery is all right. Do what you want, and you know that's what they say, man. Do what thou wilt, don't listen. You uttering uttering error against the Most High Yahweh to make empty the soul of the hungry, because they're the ones that are more overly, I would say, for the WEF agenda. Even though both sides of the people, I mean, even though both groups of people are part of their people, so even Republican politicians are in on it as well. But these Democratic politicians, they're more like openly for it, I would say. These so-called liberals, even empty the soul of the hungry, which that's what that WEF Great Reset agenda would do. That's what it would do. That's why they're pushing that family, to push that agenda. You'll own nothing and be happy. Be depending on them. They can starve you out. They can starve you out. For thinking the wrong shit eventually. It's all about control. They starve you out because they feel they need less people. They even cause the drink of the thirsty to fail. Like a foul person. And yeah, it's a practice of privacy in other areas of life. No, trying to legalize pedophilia, man. Trying to legalize pedophilia. Because we've seen them do the same shit with homosexuality. So yeah, the things that were written before time. This is basically learning from history. The things, or whatsoever things were written before time, or learning, and it kind of means that we do patience and interpret the scriptures and have hope. These is talking about the scriptures, but you could apply it here. Look how they moved before. Look what they did before. Be hey trust trust not thy enemy, right? What did it say? be take good heed and be aware of them. I mean, you're not supposed to like you're supposed to watch that devil. You're not supposed to you're supposed to watch that devil, man, because he's trying to do some shit to you. That's what he's trying to do. But hold on. Yeah, hold on. We might wrap up. Yeah, be aware of Satan's devices. Second Corinthians 2:11. Let's say you should get advantage of us, for we're not ignorant of his devices. And then be not ignorant. Ecclesiastes 5:15. Be not ignorant or small. So not being ignorant is actually all right. So all right. So with that, I hope this live is edifying. I want to give all praise to Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Akkad Kadash. Double honors to the who rule well. And salutations to the Akim there spread this truth like wildfire, no truthfulness, and in all sincerity. And shalom to the rest of the elect out there. Baal meaning that's Babylon. Abala Adwamian, meaning that to these Edomites. Abad la Gwayim, that to the heathen. Abad la Ayab Yam Nawa, that to the 2/3. Shalom, shalom, stay strong. Shalom, stay strong, Yasharallah forever. Hey, shalom, stay strong, Yasharallah forever, and the Father fall. Shalom.